Let's get into today's episode of Why We Succeed.
It's so interesting because it goes in tandem with what you were mentioning earlier, which is you do need to say yes. And I agree with you that you need to say yes often. Yes. However, before you get to that point, the foundation is knowing what you have to say no to. Because if you don't know what you got to say no to, then the things you're going to say yes to, you shouldn't be saying yes to.
Yep.
See, that's the thing. You say yes to the right stuff, not to everything. And that's the mistake that I think a lot of people make is they think, oh, well, I just got to go out and get any client, every client, whoever's willing to pay me, whatever morals or compromises I have to make. And it's like, nah, that's not the way to do it. Or I'll put it like this, not if you are a person who has morals and values and standards that you hold yourself to. Right. I mean, because we know that there's some people that don't, or those standards or those morals are just depraved and low.
But I think it goes back. I think it goes back to that skill set list that I talked about. Right. So if you have a list of no's, like perfect example, I hate with every fiber of my being creating social media graphics without offering a social media strategy. Like, why am I going to sit here and make graphics just to make graphics? Right.
Right.
And so or I guess it was last Christmas, I was kind of bored and I was like, I need something to do. And I was, again, looking at that skill list of those no's, right? Like, I don't offer social graphics as collateral in a design project unless someone pays me for a brand campaign. I just don't do it. And so I was sitting with that and I go, am I really bad at them? Or do I really I can be paid for other things, right? And so I took that as a design challenge over winter break. Or I guess it was technically Thanksgiving break. And I did a quick little setup. I did a little challenge. And I was like, I wonder how much money I could make by offering a quick little Fiverr deal, right? I've never designed on Fiverr, never had a Fiverr profile, but I kept seeing these videos of people doing Fiverr challenges. And so I kind of combined the two and I said, I wonder how much money and clients that I can make by just offering quick social media graphics for holiday sales.
Right.
Do y'all know 2 of those clients that paid me $25? I think they got like 5 or 6 graphics from me. They bought it 4 times. This one specific client bought the graphics 4 different times and then paid me an $8,000 invoice after.
Wow.
To do a brand campaign. And I just took the skill set that I was like, oh, no, and turned it into something of a learning experience of like, am I really bad at this? Do I really hate it? Or do I need to reframe it? And I think a lot of people, that's that bottom line is people are like, I don't want to work with men. I don't understand why, because they're so hands off. They don't give a shit about what you do. They just want it done.
Right.
All these designers who are like, I'm only working with freelancing women. Is it really because you hate men, or do you need to reframe who you work with, right? And what are those boundaries around who you work with? Is it an age thing? Is it the industry, right? Yeah. Because I think a lot of people associate men with corporate and they're terrible and they're Mark Zuckerberg or Bill Gates or whatever, right? And that's just like not the case, right? Like there's really dope dudes. Like I worked with this guy literally down the street who owns a cattle company and he raises meat and then makes like sellable meat boxes. He's my meat supplier now. And I do his website just because I email them. And so and that's really what it is reframing your own personal conversation to determine what those no's are and what those learning curves are. Because if you're not learning, what's the point? You know?
Right. I agree with you. Yeah. And kind of going back, like I was sharing, there were 2 lessons that had stood out along my journey. And in addition to learning what to say no to, the other thing was being a man of faith, praying for just the right clients, the right projects, and at the right time. And that's something that has been vitally important for me, because when the wrong clients come, and I'll be honest with you, I even pray that the wrong clients are repelled. I want them to be repelled by me when they see me, when they see my services, to want to run in the opposite direction and be like, nah, I don't want to work with him. And that's totally fine, because what does that do? That cuts through the time that you, me, and other people who stand on our square, the time that we have to try to sift through these people. When you make, like you said, right on your website, you put your values. People can go read through it and determine whether or not they align. If they don't, hey, you know what? Go somewhere else. If you do, let's work together. And guess what? I'm sure it's going to be magic. It's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be impactful, right?
It's funny you say that, though, about repelling bad clients, because every 6 months, I kind of hope I get one, because it helps you fix your processes and tighten any loose screws that you didn't know were loose until you get that bad client, right? And I think it's a lot too, what we think is a bad client, it's such a broad statement because people are outsourcing for a reason, right? They're not perfect. They're not an expert in what they're hiring you for, and they've recognized that that's their problem and they need a solution. And so one thing that I love doing is opening up the conversation in strategy sessions to be imperfect and let me see what those red flags are. Let me see what's going wrong in your business ecosystem so you can be a better leader, so you can be a CEO, and you can have someone who's unbiased and not really inside your business tell you how to do better. And I tell everyone in these calls, I'm like, I'm not going to make you feel good. I'm probably going to hurt your feelings. But if you make more money because of me and your business lasts longer because of me, then what does it matter? You know? And so I like getting the problem clients every now and again. It depends on my workload, right? But again, no one's perfect. And so I think that's, again, like reframing what is a red flag or a bad client really mean to you? And that's honestly, that's why I stick to those values. If someone doesn't email me the right way, am I really going to say no to their invoice? No, I'm going to reshape it and bring back up our contract of what the communication boundaries are or, whatever. And I think you have to have patience for that too. And a lot of people just don't. And that's okay. Right. Yeah. But I'm on this mission to make everyone better. And, and if that's the horse I die on, then that's fine.
I can respect that. You stand on your square. That's very few people do.
My square.
Yeah, very few people do, man. A lot of people, they teeter, they totter, they lean. And I think flexibility and compromise is necessary in certain situations. But when it comes to, I would say, our values, our standards as individuals, right? Not necessarily speaking for the general public and definitely not everybody on the planet. But when we look at ourselves as individuals, I think we have to stand for something. Otherwise, like how are you making it through life? You just go where the wind blows.
Totally. Yeah. And that's what I mean is I think a lot of people are afraid to stand up for themselves. And
why do you think that is, sir?
I think it's because our society doesn't teach you to stand tall and stand proud and, when the negative is there.
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of Why We Succeed. If you value relationships and believe they are the true key to success, be sure to subscribe. To watch this full discussion and gain access to exclusive content, join our Patreon today. The link is in the description. Thank you, and we'll catch you on the next episode.